Hi there! Cheers, everybody! And oh my god, those of you who have seen my Twitter profile recently might already know, but for the rest of you, we've got some really cool info here. Like, I'm excited. Oh. The Primitier Dev just posted the process with their duplication tool, and oh my god, now it uses up materials and power within a radius. Let me give you a demonstration. We don't have it yet, this is just for information purpose, but for the sake of it, let's just say we have a battery and we have... what do we have? These two things here. Okay. Now then, let's go into the open field with this. Because I want to specifically talk about this for just a moment. We can continue with the usual after that. Because this is interesting. So now imagine you have a piece like this. You want more of this for some reason. This is just an example, okay? This is smaller than that. So we know that a lot of these things are inside of there. And we have a full, well, kind of full battery. So what we do now, well, this is just a blueprint. We did this like months ago. This is in our database now. So we don't really need that, okay? Now then, from the process right now, there will be like a yellow circle. And from the way it sways, it seems like it is connected to the head position in the word. Like left, right, forward, backward. Which is, in my opinion, a little bit suboptimal. Because of the sway. But that would mean the following. We have a pointer. Kind of like we have this blue pointer when we have materials, just in yellow form. And we can now... Why is it turning night? I need light. Come on now. I hope you can see what I am doing. So now we decide to create one of these. So we point... Well, the dev pointed outside the circle. I guess that's because it was a quick showcase. So let's just imagine I point outside the imaginary circle and create this thing. To create this thing, the game processes and takes mass away from a similar material, the clay we have here, away from that block. I don't know what the priority is in terms of how close to the player or the bigger material or whatever. We can experiment with this once it's out, and it will take a little bit of energy from viable batteries in the middle, which is the least of all concerns. Like, yeah, okay, it's with smaller things like the flashlight, where, oops, we just need a docking station for this. Once we have a docking station, it doesn't matter where we draw energy from for the tool. But what I really don't like, well, I kind of do, but we've got a problem with this design. And that's why I want to talk with you about this, because we're making future plans now. Okay, let's get the demonstration pieces back. I think you didn't even see it in the dark, but my explanation should have helped with that. Now then, we run into a problem, because the first thing I thought of was like, oh my god, yes, I just built a shed for this very, well, not this very purpose, but it would perfectly fit. Just imagine all this stuff being in the yellow circle, and we just want a wooden thing, like the door, okay? We just want to build the door. And so the door, as it is right now without the glass or anything, we just have it in our database. We copy it from the example. We stand here with everything in here in the yellow radius and just point it to the ground there, and we would have a perfect duplicate, stand included, I guess. Wonderful. And then the next thought came around. Do you see that? Do you see that? That's wood. Do you see a problem with that? The shed itself could be part of what we take away as well. It could take from here. It could take from here. It could take everything but from here. Like from the materials inside. Not to mention, I don't quite know. I mean, it's a different block type. It has a different name, therefore it's a different block type. So if we build with rubber wood, we still need rubber wood. I do not think that thickness or whatever does matter. The next thought I had was we could build it in the middle of our drone spawner. But every time we have one simple problem. We cannot use the material the shed is made of. We cannot use wood if we do it here. We cannot use ancient plastic? Plastic, I think. If we do it over there at the spawner. So we have two options. Three options we have. The first one. Wait. Brain, work again. Okay, we have two options. I was overthinking. The first one is to just throw out all the materials into open space, demolish the shed itself, and just have it be a pile. A sorted pile, like all of this, what we have here, without the backside. Without this nice looking support. So we go for function instead of style. And that is part number one. The second is designated space. If we would take one of these and now we run around, okay? And we always think about the head wiggle room because the circle that can be the barrier of. We only take materials for the duplicate things that are inside the yellow circle that happens. So if we get the diameter, the radius of that, with a little bit of security distance, of course, and build like a second bigger shed that surrounds this yellow circle, we can just point out the middle, like that. And so we know if we stand on here, we are safe. The walls are safe. Head wiggle included, so if I lean forward, it would still not reach the wall. So we can take all of the materials inside. Well, beside the one small problem that we can't use corners anymore because they will be outside there. But anyway. So this is more of a temporary thing. We just built it and now it's temporary. Think about that. But we built something similar. And so the idea is we have this here. This will stay, don't worry. The shed has its purpose because this is a first time build thing. If we want to build something that we have not built before, a tool, a small machinery, something like the tree cutter we did a while ago, or something like that cutter. We only build cutters really, or a window, or something like that, the brazier. Then we take materials out of here, because we go in manually, take them, work them over, use them. Then we have a second pile where we can put all the scrap. We don't need to burn it anymore. We still do it. We only stop once the update is out. But we can put all the scrap materials in there. The test only has shown to create a small thing with the essence of one bigger thing. So from what I've seen. So the idea of using multiple smaller ones for a bigger one isn't confirmed. It's only what I assume. Like that will be the logical step, I guess. So that means there isn't really scrap. It's all just unconverted material, if you so will. And even better, oh my god, you know how you can, like in Minecraft, put 9 iron to a block? We can turn all of this varying material here. We can all turn this into storage blocks. So it would be one unified shape. Just block next to block next to block next to block, and if I have to transport it, I just take the block and boop. So it wouldn't be. Oh, I love the conversion idea. I was fearful that this is a creative only tool, but I can't wait for the update. Not gonna lie, I don't even want to play until the update. So excited I am. Don't worry, we're still here and I play as much as I can. But oh my god, I'm just same with you? Am I the only one? I don't know. Oh, and you know what's the best thing about that? We don't need that many sticks anymore. We only need the ones we put there for building purposes, you know? Because we still need the different shapes for first time. Or no? Not really. We just have to copy one stick. Wait a second. There's one rule to this game so far. We're theory crafting today, okay? There's not really a need, because as soon as the update is out, we can just, you know, experiment with it. But I just want to run my thoughts through, and I hope you're okay with it, because we all get hyped up for this now. You remember when we built the balcony? And I was like, oh, you know what? Potted plants would actually look really cool, especially because in front of the railing we have kind of an empty space, which I didn't fill out just yet. And now there is one rule to this game. If this thing is not connected to this thing anymore, it turns into dry grass. Leaves only exist in this one game state. Nothing else, only this. So I wonder if we were to plant a tree down here, like take an apple, put it here. Then we make a copy of that exact tree. Let's say it's not an apple tree, it is an apple-less tree. We make a copy of that. That's dangerous. Like, yeah, sure. That is cool. I like that. Okay, I finished my idea and you may see the problem with it. So we put a tree there. What was... Oh, I forgot about that. Whoopsie. Lamp? Lamp? Lamp! What happened to you? Okay, let's put it here. Right. We put a tree down there, copy it, go up here, maybe a smaller one if we ever find one, but put a pot over here and place the tree inside there. Then we have greenery, green leaves on the balcony, if it works. Because it would still not be a stick connected to the ground. So maybe the leaves will instantly... Well, the leaves themselves copy over. But in the next frame of the game, the leaves turn yellow because they are not connected to the ground. Could be. But in here, we have a much bigger problem. Because... let's say we build furniture around there, where there's nothing around. We copy that. And we want to build the furniture inside of here. I'm gonna write in the suggestion channel about that. Maybe an internal storage for the blueprint thing would be good, because same with the tree, where we might accidentally take something from the ladder, for example, to create the stem, the log. Or if we create wooden furniture, it just takes from the roof, and the roof falls apart because a chunk is missing. just for the furniture, you know, because it takes the wood out of the yellow circle, which is basically now the whole house. Yeah, so it would be better if we have like the yellow circle to snatch up material and release it whenever we want without immediately converting everything around. I do like the current system, I'm hyped as hell, but it's not practical with sheds, houses, whatsoever. As much as I love it. Maybe an upper limit to how much you can store, but I don't know about that. Also, we haven't seen yet what happens if you don't have enough materials. I think it will just, like, ding ding, it does nothing. Maybe even turn the pointer from yellow to red, but that's all theory crafting. We don't have confirmation about that so far. It's a cool system. I see flaws with it for the way I build. Maybe I'm building very specifically. Maybe it's all my fault. I mean, that's the first thing I usually assume. Not because it's me, but because most of thoughts are just unhinged like that. You see. Using it for furniture, although it's pretty cool for furniture. The main point where I struggle would be the leaf idea, but as I said, it could turn out to not work at all, because furniture we can just move inside, create outside, so that wouldn't be a problem. And if that's too much, we can create the parts of the furniture outside, like split it in half, walk it in, put it together there. That will work, not a problem. Also, one other thing I do wonder is if we copy and paste this, and this is a silly question, I know, but they are this very same length, the very same height, and the very same, well, length to the side. So nothing is looking over left and right, nothing is looking over at the top at the bottom. So my question is, will this here be converted into just one piece? Or will it stay two sticks? Simple question. Does it have an easy answer? I don't know. I mean, it is very obvious if we do something like this here, because the game functions in squares. This form is not a square. This is a T. It's me. But so we don't have the edges. So these are definitely two separate things. But is it two separate things or three separate things? That would be interesting, because both would be very cool. On one hand, we can still modify the future build if these stay two different things, even after we copy-pasted it. But if it all turns into one, it would put their life together, so it's harder to damage them, which is cool. And it would reduce the amount of items in the world. But honestly, it would be cool if they stay two different things, because then I just would work with bigger materials. Because let's not forget, I only have to do everything one time. If I would be able to build houses in mod... Oh, wait. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. Now the question becomes, because we didn't see that in the video, there are two possibilities of how something can spawn. Either it spawns like this, like an item, or if you point it to the ground, it spawns in sticking to the ground. I don't know which is true. It did certainly look like it spawns as an item in the world, which means you have to put it down yourself. which would be interesting. Like if we copy the house, for example, which, oh my god, my computer would die. it would be spawned in as an item. So you could theoretically move it around. I would think it's too heavy to move around, and we only have to stick one piece to the ground. Like if we just go. That's an interesting question. If we go to the bottommost part and press trigger on it, would it put the whole house to the ground? Or would it take the piece apart? That's why I don't like trigger. I want two separate buttons for putting together and putting apart. But that's just me. But what I was to say, the furniture thing, we can't do it around the corner, and that's why I started with a put in the world or put to the ground. If we put it into the world, I could point, like, you know, point, to the ground over there, to the floor, and take good care that I'm not having the house in my circle. So then I would just snipe the floor of the house through the door and put the furniture down there. Then I walk over, not having the tool active anymore, and just take the furniture and heave it over to wherever I want it in the house. The same I could do if I use scaffolding in a material and point it to the upper floor, so we have an easy way to get it in there. The only problem with the upper floor is the weak ground. So I don't know how it spawns in. Like if it only spawns in like a centimeter above ground, we could technically get heavy furniture in there. If it spawns even higher, like 5 centimeters off the ground, there is a chance that it will have a small fall. And therefore this destroying, affecting, I don't know if it straight out destroys, but look at how thin the floor is. Destroy the floor, like we did with the tools. So many things to consider, but the longer I think about it, the more I think my brain can manage it. So even the radius immediate conversion isn't that bad, if you know about that. We could consider ancient plastic to be not a thing we build with. That's stupid. We need one material that we don't want to build with, but which we can use for like copy-paste building. You know, like for the scaffolding, whatever I stand on has to be excluded from the thing I want to copy paste inside. Because if I would do that, if I would use a wooden pillar to stand on to reach the first floor with my pointer, and I paste in a wooden furniture, I could use the pillar I'm standing on, and I'm just like pummeling to the ground. I mean, doesn't matter too much because I already placed the thing, but if I were, for example, to place multiple things, I still want to stay up there. You see the problem? So we either have to agree on one material we don't want to copy paste, and I don't know which. The first that would come to mind is clay, because there is no need to I hate that. Okay, here's the thing. The reason we made this in the first place is to create clay bricks. Say about that what you want, but that was the reason for that. I wanted to build like what do you call it? Not a furnace, but a smeltery. The reason I don't have one yet is because I'm still thinking about how I want to do it, because I don't want to keep it going with a simple fire, especially if we want to work with tungsten. I know we could get niter in, but yeah, I don't know. All of that would go to waste if we just take whatever shape of clay, put that in a fire, And then we just have one stone brick that we already figured out. So we only have to build one with the whole thing here. And place that a few times to turn the brick into something else. I recently made a funny Twitter tweet about I do want my games to be challenging, but I don't want them to be too challenging, but I don't want them to be too easy. And now I think like, okay, yeah, I was completely prepared to do multiple bricks. And now we don't need to create multiple bricks anymore because we can easily place them down. So either, well, it depends on how the thing works in the end. Right now we just have snapshots. But if it turns out to be just like shown, either I have to restrain myself from using it, like we have a specific rule set for the save, or I just go with it and create a lot of these things. So that would mean that we can create bigger buildings in even less time. I mean, yeah, sure, why not? I don't know. Also, it will make putting down walls way easier. Imagine we could just get the wall from down there, which is like 5 pieces only, instead of all the same. Let's continue that. Oh god, I've talked the whole episode about that. But I mean, you understand why, huh? It is an interesting thing to witness. And I told you, I am absolutely excited for it. That was not a lie whatsoever. And with this episode, you can tell. I hope it's alright we have a more talkative and less constructive episode. But oh my god, I cannot wait. I won't be talking about this the next episodes through. Well, maybe talk about it, but I will continue doing stuff. And we just continue playing like that thing was never announced. Let's start with this one, so... because I can't really plan on anything right now. I mean, it is still in active development. We still... Okay, everything's healthy, good. It's still in active development. We only have a few spare infos on that, and I can't be happier. The developer, I tell you, mad person. Madman? Mad woman? I don't actually know. Mad person. I love them. I don't know where this game will be in some time. Like if they continue this crazy speed on how things develop. I mean, 2 updates ago was electricity. All of that. Imagine the junction box. Before the second last update, this wasn't possible. The last update, repair slime. That was already, oh boy. And now that. Imagine where this game is in 5 years. This was all in what, 1.5 years? I'm not too sure at the moment. I will have to check that out again. But let's just say 1.5 years for those 3 updates. Like, that might come out, we don't have a date. But with all the progress, can't be more than at least 2 months, maybe? That's my own prediction here, so take it with a huge grain of salt, please. But oh, in 5 years, that would be like 6 to 8 more updates. I mean, if the pace goes on, if the creativity is there, if there's no burnout. I don't want to overwork that poor dude. Dude is neutral, right? With dude, it doesn't matter. Okay. I don't want to overwork them. But if that keeps on, this might turn from it seems like an indie title so far, like not the biggest of hypes, like for example the other series on the channel with Factorio. Like in gaming everyone knows Factorio, but in VR gaming does everyone know Primitier? Well, at some point maybe. Depends on the crazy builds that it will be viable. And even if not, even if it stays to the same size of community, it's so... oh, I love it. And I'm so glad I took this as a let's play on my channel. Not gonna lie with you, it is a little bit more complicated doing a VR series compared to what we had before with Monster Girl Manager, with Cassette Beast and the such. It is more preparation time for getting the VR to work and everything, going into the game, making sure that sound and everything is fine. It is more work overall, but in the end, so happy. So happy to enjoy this with you guys. And what I've seen recently, we are approaching 100 episodes. I have to recheck for how long Cassette Beast and Manager went, because those were two of my longer series. I think we're over that now. I do think this is my longest series so far. And wow, I have no plans on stopping. I mean, you have heard my future plans. Oh, and imagine a blueprint of a boat. Oh my god. The chaos we can do. Oh, by the way, I forgot about you. I'm sorry. One comment recently was asking for, and I quote, a glider with a propeller. First thing I want to ask is, isn't that in this game's terms just a plane? No! Okay, we're good. Well, it's mostly just a plane. And I repeat what I said. Could you please not? I hate that. Okay, where was I? Again? It's a plane. And like I said in the earlier episodes, we will first go into the water before we go into the air, if ever. I can do a lot of stuff in this game. I wouldn't say I'm talented per se, but I'm more of the static and nice looking build guy thingy majins. But you saw me struggle with the small things. You saw me struggle with the box. You saw me struggle with the cutter. What I can say, however the copy-paste thing will turn out, it might open up the possibility for me to do something like a flying machine. Because with a flying machine, we have a few problems and hoops to jump through. The first one is crashing the thing. Now, how do the others deal with that? Like everyone else who made one. Especially Kurosaki, who is still actively working on her machine. And it looks better and better. And also, not gonna lie, I really like the idea of the switches between the bearings, which I blatantly stole. But I said that when I created the switch things, like for the box. Like if you want to see a really cool flying machine, look there. I can only recommend Kurosaki, really great Primitier magician. Knows the game so much better than I do. But I mean, if they crash, like if people like is she? If they crash their flying machine, they can just reload a save. And we have been reloading saves in this game as well. Yeah, we've done that. But I tell you, I would rather not. I would rather... You know, when we crash a flying machine, I would just get a material that we've used. Like, for example, I'd just take the top of a small tree if we damaged our dry leaves. And then I would stand so that the flying machine is inside my circle. And just put down the blueprint of that machine. So the broken down one gets converted into the complete one, together with all the material I gathered to replace the parts. Like, that would make it easier, and we don't even have to reload the save. Which I want to do as little as possible. So I guess at that point, yeah, we could maybe planes, helicopters, but that's really just a future project. I do like that there are suggestions, like that you guys want to see more, that you have ideas on what we can do, and I'm happy to try some of them. We still have the hammer to go. I didn't forget about that. And there was one more. Was it the saw thing that... Oh no, the saw thing doesn't work. Right. I debunked that previously. But usually I try to keep good track of the ideas, because... I mean, it's easy to come up... No, it's not easy to come up with ideas, but it's even harder to execute them. So most of them I have to keep in mind for later. But once we get there, oh my, do we get there. And you know what? Oh, I just realized. Let's say you can copy-paste the trees. Not onto structures, we still don't know if the leaves will instantly convert, if the stick is not, like, if the log is not connected to the ground. But if you place it down on the ground, you should be good to go, right? And that would mean we can fine-tune the hedge. What I mean, I can show you in a second, like right now. Like, see this. When I place down a hedge, I need to meticulously know, like, how big is the leaf and how close do I need them to be together. Because here I made the mistake. I will have to replace this one and put it more to the side. Or rather this side, put more here. It doesn't matter. Just put them more close together to actually be a hedge. I don't want to be able to run through. But if we can just, like, stand around here, somewhere, like, having this in the yellow circle, and point the blueprint right there in the middle, it will take, if that's the only thing in our circle, it will take the tree and put it there where I pointed. So we can fine-tune where we want the tree to be. Which is cool, which I like. Oh no, wait, that wouldn't work. I mean, that wouldn't work under circumstances. It's okay, we still need to find out how it really works in the end. But remember this stick to the ground or fall to the ground thing we talked about? We assume at the current stage that it will fall to the ground. That's where I place it. That would mean that on the initial spawn of the tree, it will be in the air, which means that the stick is not connected to the ground, which could mean that this will instantly turn to dry grass. It would be cool if not, because then we would have our very first option to move trees around. But if so, oh well. God, we really get some Zootaiken landscaping in here. Nice. Okay. Anything around? This one I want to keep for the brazier, but those we don't need. Anything around here? Whoops. Not really. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? I told you earlier about my plans on building another card. Keep that one in mind for the future. We're not doing this at any moment right now because, oh my god, that would be amazing. We would be able to duplicate wheels. That means we can work on one wheel for as long as we want. And then just make a copy of that. And if we want more, just make more. It should be far enough away, I think. Oh my god, that would be cool. Okay, a few materials that we don't really copy. Hello? A few materials that we don't really copy because they're way too rare, or which we don't always have on hand, would be drones, spawn points. Did I forget something? Like, okay, spawn points are not the easiest to they would be easier to transport. I mean, if you really want to get funky with the system and abuse it a little bit, you could theoretically, let's just say, I mean, let's take a very easy example. We can make it more complicated later. If we have an open area and a material that is not common in that area, because that would only be found at the beach. So we're in the middle of nowhere. We haven't built anything with this, so we wouldn't be able to find this in the wild. So we just have it in the circle. We have a copy of it, and we point over there. So that means it would eat up the whole block because it's an exact copy of this block. So it should have the very same mass, and place it over here. Then we just stand over here, have the new location of the thing, like the copy, inside our circle, and place it over there. And we can do this along a long line. That would mean that we would have an easy way to transport something like a spawn point, which we tried over there. If you remember, that was episodes ago, where we tried to... Oh, that's beautiful. Where we tried to bring over the spawn point to this base to put it into the house, which I yet have to do, and got killed by drones. I know, it kind of ended anticlimactic, but what are you gonna do? Oh, I love it. Why is this so calming? Ooh, imagine making a copy of this thing. And do we have a pile at the moment? We don't. But you know what happens when we get over the sticks to gather more sticks? We create a pile of leaves over here. Which we said is too big and takes up a little bit of performance. Now, imagine having a blueprint of the big leaf block. Like that size, or even bigger like that. Oh my god. That looked for a moment like... the tree next to it is on fire. And my brain was already processing like, oh no, does it reach the shed? Oh please no. But we're good. It just looked very scary. Okay, where was I? I don't know. Yeah, like combining the leaves together into one big block. Same here. Wait, let me get my light. Let me get my light so you can see. For storage, we could turn all of these above well, I guess we need more. But all of them we could turn into the big block down there. It would be hard to move it, but hey. On the contrary, remember when we tried to get the really, really big block? Now imagine we are able to produce one big sheet. We weren't able to with that thing because our X was way too small. The episode Rock and Stone. Still remember that name to this day. So we could get any shape of big stone that we want. And we don't really have to move it per se, because we just talked about moving stuff with this. So it's more like a transport tool if you use it right. That's, so many possibilities. And we can get those big blocks for easy storage. Well, not easy take, but easy storage. And if we want to take, we can just stand in there, having this in our radius, and turn the big one into multiple small ones, which are more handy to transport, and put that on a cart or something. Easy. Okay, you guys have to help me. Not right now, not right now. I'm gonna ask this later again, but you can start to think about this with the information we have so far. If you want to see it yourself, go over to Twitter or the respective Discord Primitier Discord server to get an idea of the update. And what I would want to know, especially once it's out and we know the details, okay? I'm gonna ask that episode again. But think about, if everything I said so far would be true, would we use it? Like, would we use the transport option of copying and moving over? Like a game of, oh, I don't know what it's called. Hoop jump. I don't know what's called in English. Where we just place the material in front of us, walk past the material, place the material in front of us, walk past the material. Am I allowed to use that? And am I allowed to use the storage block idea that I talked about with the stone block? Like, these things, are they too unimmersive? Do they take out of the experience? We gotta try it once, and once that is done, you will have to tell me. Or maybe I make my own decision then, but I mean, it has to be for a viewer's experience as well, right? Okay, enough talking for today. I'm just still excited. I could talk on the whole day, believe me, but I have to do a few real life things. And there is an event this evening, and a nice little VTuber collab that I'm participating in. So no more recording time. 48. We're over anyway. I didn't really do anything this episode, so where do we leave off? I think just where the camera already is, which should be over at the brazier. Right. You can tell that I'm excited, can't you? Oh my god, when did we have a talk episode like this the last time? It's been a while, isn't it? Well then. Next episode a little bit more productive. And do you know this feeling when a game comes up? When an update to a game comes out and you're like, okay, now I don't want to play the game because I want to play the game with the promised feature. And I kind of have the same here. Like, everything I do from now on has the inner thought of, don't I want to do this with more ease with the duplication tool later? Okay, we just continue the work on the house, and it should be out around the time we may go to the boat. Maybe we do the pier in the meantime, because I don't know when it comes out. But once we go there, could work. Who knows? Well, with these ideas and other ideas yet to come, I leave you off to the day. You have a fine one. See you around. Bye bye. Whoosh.